In the whimsical town of Tick-Tock, nestled between the whispering woods and the giggle galaxy, lived a happy family of clocks. There was Clocky, the grandfather clock with the booming voice, his son Chip, the alarm clock with the stutter, and their neighbor, Cuckoo, the curious clock with a taste for adventure. One morning, Mart woke up to the sound of his alarm clock hopping out the door, and perched on a nearby log was his alarm clock, still singing that same silly song. Just then, the cuckoo from next door flew down from a tree, landing on Mart's shoulder. "Looking for this little guy?" she asked with a wink. The only way to break the spell was to figure out the riddle hidden inside the cuckoo's call. "You took long enough," it chimed impatiently. "I was beginning to think you weren't smart enough to figure out my riddle. I really do need to get back to work now." From that day on, Mart and the others made sure to wind their clocks every morning, making sure they never, ever stopped. Because without the steady tick-tock of clocks, time would simply stop. "You know, I have an appointment with destiny or something." And with that, it began hopping from stone to stone, disappearing into another portal just as it called out, "Hoppy, hoppy, 1, 2, 3, add me up and set me free." So as the sun began its endless cycle of rising and setting, Mart and the others searched high and low for clues. "So it wants us to add up all the numbers," he said with a smile. Taking a deep breath, he closed his eyes and began to count. When he opened them, he saw that the sky had cleared of clouds, revealing a bright blue expanse dotted with fluffy white sheep, or rather clocks. Each one bawed loudly, "BAA, BAA, 1, 2, 3, 4, and as they watched, the little clock came to a sudden stop. Its hands began to spin wildly, and with a loud tick-tock, it froze in place. "Hoppy, hoppy, it's done," it chimed happily. "Thank you for setting me free." And with a final hop, it skipped back to its shelf in Mart's bedroom. They talked to wise old owls, playful squirrels, and even a family of hedgehogs who lived in a house made of ticking clocks. He sure did hop down that rabbit hole, didn't he? He stretched his clock hands, yawned a huge clock face, and called out, "Good morning, sunshine. Time to wake up." As he stepped outside, he noticed 6 little pebbles arranged in a circle around the base of the clock. "That doesn't make any sense," he muttered, more to himself than anyone else. With each leap, he disappeared into a shimmering portal that opened up between the flowing waters. "What's the meaning of this?" cried Mart, rushing to the first portal just as it vanished, only to find himself in a place that looked exactly like the woods, except everything was made of clouds. But as the minutes ticked by and his curiosity grew, he found himself following the pebbles trail deeper and deeper into the woods. As he got closer, Mart noticed that the clearing was now filled with fluffy white sheep, each sporting a pair of large bunny ears. And perched atop a cloud shaped like a log was Cuckoo, who greeted them with a big smile. "Welcome to the land of never-ending morning," she sang out, "where every day begins but never ends, and every night is filled with endless dreams." But instead of the usual chime, his clock sang out in a chirpy voice, "Hoppy, hoppy, 1, 2, 3. Gotta catch me if you can. You'll never succeed." And with that, the little clock hopped out the window and disappeared into the woods. What in the time zone was that all about? Wondered Mart, rubbing his sleepy eyes. The path led them to a clearing where a babbling brook split into 7 streams, each flowing in a different direction. Before Mart could respond, the little clock began hopping from stream to stream, counting out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. He soon spotted Chip in the distance, still hopping along, but at a much slower pace. As it turned out, they were trapped in a time loop caused by an ancient enchantment. Finally, after what felt like hours and hours, they returned to the clearing, where the little clock was waiting for them on its cloud-shaped log. After a moment's pause, Mart realized that the clock was counting the hours from 1 to 12 and back again, and so time returned to normal in the town of Tick-Tock.